Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Tuesday Talks, where we talk to Knights on Bikes members about different things and different things that are going on. Today, we have Brother Mike Rutland from the great state of Washington, and he is in Seattle, more accurately. And I was in Seattle, Brother Mike, not too long ago, last summer, as a matter of fact. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to and regarding Knights of Columbus and Knights on Bikes.
Well, Brother Peter, greetings from the great Pacific Northwest. It's a pleasure to be here. A little bit about myself. I've been married to my wife for now almost 50 years. We have three wonderful children. Two of them are brother knights. One of them is a knight on bike. And so we have a great time together going out and riding. I've been a knight for approximately 38 years now. I've held just about every position, including I was state warden back in 1999, 2000 for the state of Washington. I've been a knight on bike. Oh, good night. It's been since Tommy Rosati, who was the first president up here. He was the one who introduced me to it. And we just started riding all over the place, and we were going on, and I became the second vice president for the state of Washington. And then Bruce Hines, Blanco, he followed me. So and now he's the vice president. So we have a great time up here. There's a lot of great places to ride, but it's been a labor of love being a knight, being a knight on bike, and watching the transformation on where we were and where we've come to today.
Excellent. And like I said, I was in the great state of Washington, actually in Seattle, your neck of the woods, but we couldn't. I don't think we could quite make a rendezvous there when I was there. But it's a wonderful place to visit, and we bled over into Idaho and actually hooked up with Blanco and Santa, as a matter of fact. And now, from what I understand, Mike, you've got an interesting road name, Slider, I think it is. Explain that a little bit.
Well, I was on my last Hell's Canyon motorcycle rally out in Baker City, Oregon, and some of my compadres were way out ahead of me. So I sped up to try to catch up to them, and I hit some S turns. Made the first part of the S turn is perfect. Dragged the floorboard, came around the second one, and then there was a coyote in the road. Yeah. And so I went to the right. Coyote went to the left, but unfortunately, the right, I went off the road. And so my nickname now, my riding name is Slider.
Well, there's always a story. I don't have near as good a road name as you do. Mine is Coach, which is what I do over here. So that's not that I don't have a good story like you have. But anyway, last time we had talked on the phone, you had an interesting story where you were out and about with your daughter. Tell us about that.
Actually, that was my granddaughter.
Oh, granddaughter.
And that was the first time I was going to go down to Baker City, Oregon, to the Hell's Canyon motorcycle rally. My granddaughter, who was 10 years old at the time, wanted to go with me. So if she was going to ride with me, of course, she had to have her leathers. And so I took her down to the local leather shop in Lakewood, Washington, and we got everything. We got her all suited up. She got her chaps. She got her jacket. She put a lone wolf on the back because that's what she associated with. And so when I was paying for it, she just walked outside. After I finished paying and went outside, here I find her in the middle of a circle, right, surrounded by the Banditos, which is a 1% club. And it was, but they were being such gentlemen with her, complimenting her on her leathers and how good she looked and everything else. And I mean, that made her year. I mean, she always saw the bikers going down the road, and she always wanted to be part of that in some way or fashion. She walked out, she had her bandana on, her jacket, her leathers, and she was just decked out. And so they were just making a big fuss. So I kind of walked over there hesitantly because of who they were. But I approached one of the guys and I said, "Hey, that's my granddaughter. Thank you for making her feel so good in complimenting her on that. And you could see when I first walked up, the facial expression on the gentleman I approached was a little bit stern. But then when I said it was my granddaughter and everything else, his whole facial expression changed. I asked him,
you had your KNB vest on at the time?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I never ride without it. But I asked him, is your chapter president here? And his face went from peaceful to stern again, and wanted to know why. And I said, because that's my granddaughter. I just want to thank him for all you guys, making her week. And so he said, wait right here. He walked over to a gentleman leaning on the up against the bike. And so he peeked around him and he went like this. And so, all right, I approached because now I've been called over. And he asked me, what's the problem? And I said, no, please, there is no problem. That's my granddaughter. You guys have made her year because she's always wanted this. Okay. You complimented her, made a fuss over her. And I just want to thank you. You guys were such gentlemen with her. And I really, really appreciate it. At that time, he grabs me by the arm to turn me around because he saw that I was wearing a color on the back of my vest. And he goes, what's that? Because his face went from smiling to business. So I had to go into a 30-second elevator speech. Told him it was the emblem of the order. It was represented the largest Catholic fraternal organization in the world, 2 million members. I said, but if you notice, there is no rocker on the bottom because we do not claim any territory. But then because I got very comfortable in front of him, the next words out of my mouth at any other time probably would have gotten me in a little bit of hot water, if you will. I said, is there a problem? And he looks at me and a big old grin comes on his face and he goes, no, you guys are okay. I've heard about you and you've got no problem with us. And so we shook hands and we left, and me and my granddaughter got on the back, and I got to reflect upon that. And I'm thinking, any other time, it could have gone a whole lot different, right? But I guess it's at the end. You never know who you're going to meet on the road. Okay, so do you shy away from it, or do you just stand your ground? And when they ask you what's that on your back, tell them. Don't be afraid. We represent the greatest Catholic fraternal organization in the world. And as a matter of fact, when you're out on your bike and you've got like the vest that you have on and that big old emblem of the order on your back, you're under constant scrutiny. People are watching you. People are evaluating you. Some people know what the patch is. Some do not. Those who do not will ask you and just go into a 30-second elevator speech because there you're evangelizing, you're professing your faith. And that's what we're all called to do.
And that's so important because you have to remember that, like you said, we are wearing that 12-inch patch on the back, and that emblem is very recognizable. It's one part evangelization in your story and another part recruitment. And I know Washington State has used, and Blanco told me numerous stories about how they use Knights on Bikes for recruitment. And I think your state deputy has even given you some kudos on that.
Yes, he has. We've written to conferences, we've written to meetings as the second virtue of the Knights of Columbus, unity.
Right.
And also the third, fraternity. So it's a mixture of all that. But when people see this, and especially young men or Catholics who have motorcycles who don't know what to do, and then they see that patch, and then they come up to you. You remember the Knights? I said, yeah, absolutely remember the Knights. Oh, I have a bike too. I'm Catholic. Can I join this? And I said, I go, absolutely, you can join. We'll get you to become a member of the Knights of Columbus, and then we'll outfit you, and we'll all ride together.
Right.
But until then, come on and ride with us. Anybody, we,
And you just keep that open, and you never know what might come of it. And the other thing that I like to do too is when I'm talking to somebody that's, at church and all, and they're not a member of the Knights of Columbus, the online 100 basically is what it is.
The online join.
Tool. Yeah, such a great tool.
I have when I have my my phone, as soon as I start talking to somebody, and the thing is, when people are recruiting, you have to remember that as soon as you hear, okay, I'll join, stop talking and open up your phone and sign them up right away, because you could talk them out of it.
Yeah, what a wonderful recruitment tool, and certainly a PR tool, and it's an evangelization tool. So just wearing this vest while you're out there riding a motorcycle, because we gain a lot of heads get turned when we start riding motorcycles, and just wanted to bring that out as well, because no matter what you do while you're out there, remember, somebody's watching.
Absolutely. Whether you're on your bike, whether you're in your car and you have the emblem of the order on it, somebody's watching you, and they're going to judge not only you, but the order by your actions.
Exactly.
Well, the best way to recruit a member, it depends on your environment, where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're out on the road and someone pulls up, you're sitting there and someone comes up to you and says, "What is that on your back?" 30-second elevator speech. You tell them what it is. Ask them, "So are you a Catholic?" "Well, yeah, I am." "Well, okay. So have you ever heard of the Knights of Columbus?" "Well, my dad was." "Well, why don't you become one?" "Well, I've been thinking of it." And the thing is, as a recruiter, you have to already prepare yourself with every objection there is out there.
Yep.
Okay. You have to understand that. Okay. One of my favorites is, "Well, I need to pray upon this a little bit more." Right. And I'll go, "Oh my goodness. Do you realize that just last night when I was on my knees saying my night prayers, I asked the Lord to send me someone, and brother, here you are."
There you go.
You take the wind out of the sails, and then they go, "Oh, okay.
But
Or
the
you talk to their wife, and their wife is a good recruiter.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. But the key is, and what I was getting at a second ago, is that you're never going to recruit anybody unless you ask them.
Absolutely. You have to walk up, stick your hand out, and say, "Hi, I'm Mike. I'm with the Knights of Columbus. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you ever heard of the Knights?" Boom. Start the conversation.
Yeah.
Unassuming,
and no hard sell. Just, have you ever heard of the Knights? And most people would say yes.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, don't be afraid of who you're talking to. It doesn't matter. Okay. I never let the sun go down or my head hit the pillow unless I've talked to someone that day about the Knights of Columbus. Almost messed up my record. I was getting ready for bed and I'm going, "Oh, I haven't talked to somebody." I ran out to the 7-Eleven. I know the guy's not a Catholic, but I stood there, I bought a pack of gum, and I talked to him about the Knights of Columbus.
Right.
And then I went home.
Well, if he's not, or not even a Catholic, he knows somebody who is. And
yes.
Those relationships are so important, which goes back to the banditos, you have to have those relationships, and it'll germinate, and something will happen. Or maybe even one of them. How many times have you heard stories of, they don't want to live that lifestyle anymore, and they want to live a more pious life, and you can be there for them, and you can literally save their life.
Absolutely. You never know whose life you're going to touch by being out there,
right,
and being friendly and opening up to anybody who wants to talk.
Right. That's exactly right. Well, Brother Slider, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And I hope that next time that I'm out there, we can hook up together, or next time you're in the Southeast, come on, stop by.
Yes.
I want to appreciate your time, and your story was something that I'll remember, and probably weave it into a conversation somewhere. Be with you, Brother Mike, and hope we can get together soon.
Be with you.